Good morning, Cheryl Paltekis.
Good morning. How are you?
Awesome.
I just was texting a few of our High Performance Sales Academy members to see who's joining, and I just got a text back from John saying, "Hey, I'm joining the call. I just want to let you know I'm going to be 5 minutes late." And Trina just texted to say that she will have two of her girls, Kelly and I forget who the other one was, that they will be joining us too a few minutes late.
Okay, well, let's begin. Since we have this recorded, why don't we go ahead and begin, and then folks can always catch up on the beginning.
Great. I'd love to share something I was reading today that came out in one of the MedPAC reports. It was very interesting. It was about how the discharge planning golden rules are being rewritten and how MedPAC is making a recommendation to CMS that the discharge planners start to make the recommendations, not just based off of, hey, yeah, we own this agency, right? So let's use ours, but that they actually use quality indicators. So meaning that it's going to start become more important, not only to us as our home health providers, but also for all of our skilled nursing facility friends. They want everybody in the post-acute world for the discharge planners to be making those recommendations like, hey, use them based on what their quality measures are. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I think it gives us a new opportunity to be able to try to have our sales reps hopefully join this adventure into the master's program and try to learn some of those strategies using all of those data points. And even just for the reps that are just in our High Performance Sales Academy, if they can pick up some of the best practices of really understanding the OASIS assessment if they're in home health, so that they can really identify and look at their solid areas of performance and start to have more intelligent conversations with the discharge planners that are based on their outcomes. You know, what do you think about that?
So that's so fascinating because it must be on the vibe today. You know, I was reading Remington Report this morning, and Elizabeth Hogue, is that the one you were reading also?
So I read that one first, and then I went from that and hit the link that said, took you to the MedPAC report, which then took me to the MedPAC presentation to CMS. So I kind of just went down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, so, and I think that's great because I was on a coaching call yesterday with one of the team members that I coach, and you know, it was all about how do we help the SNF, you know, how do we help the SNF protect their revenue or gain more revenue, and it was about going out and speaking with the administrator, which some of the reps have never done. They've really focused on the social workers and getting those folks out of the hospital, or I'm sorry, out of the SNF with rehab, which is great, but now it's time to kind of take it to the next level and help these accounts protect their revenue or produce more revenue. So I dig it.
And you know, and yesterday I was out, you know, in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you could see out my window.
I see you got some snow there, girlfriend.
Yeah, if I show you my other window, you'll really see. I don't know if it's too wetted out.
Yeah.
But and the funny part is that we keep hearing on the news like the storm hasn't started yet. I'm like, what? Like, have you not been at my house? Because it's obviously started. But we're expecting 3 inches of snow an hour from 1 p.m. until 8 p.m. tonight. So they're saying that we're probably going to get about 18 to 24 inches, which is just like, does anybody not see the calendar?
That's crazy. Yeah, it's azalea season here. I got green grass.
Yes, well, I need to come visit, girlfriend, because I need a hug and I need some warm weather.
Right. That's right. Well, good. So I really appreciate that. You know, just this week, it seems to be getting, and maybe it's because we're preparing for our Dallas event and the master's program. It just seems like we're talking about advanced sales strategies more and more, and I think that's a good thing. I think it sets folks apart, and instead of, it helps them rise out of the commodity of I've got, you know, caring caregivers or nice, great OTs or quality nurses. So I really appreciate having that conversation and elevating the conversation.
Excellent. So I just unmuted. I saw we had some new people that arrived, and I didn't know if anybody wants to take a minute to introduce themselves. I just unmuted the next 2 callers that joined us.
It's John in Chicago.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
How are you?
I'm good. No snow. I'm okay.
Yeah, you're lucky. Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. And
John,
who else
what's top of mind for you? Oh, sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. One more we have. Who else joined? I'm sorry.
Melanie and Alice.
Hi, girl.
Hey, Melanie.
Hi.
Well, we're
All
happy
right.
to have
So, John, what's top of mind for you?
I'm sorry?
What's top of mind for you?
You're breaking up. I'm sorry.
She asked John, what's on, like, anything on the top of your mind today? Anything new or something that you would like to share with us? Or question?
Well, I definitely just wanted to hear how these sessions go, see if I can pick up any things that I'm lacking, which I'm sure there's many. And I just wanted to, participate. I'm trying to further educate myself, make impacts.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. All right, ladies, Melanie and Alice, what's top of mind for you guys? We may have lost them. All right, Cheryl. So let's talk about some tactics, recognizing that the others that are on the line are welcome to join at any time and share some of their experiences too. Cheryl, you want to kick off a topic?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to say where we started out this morning, where we're talking about the golden rules for discharge planning evolving, and that more than ever coming up in future legislation. Typically, when we see MedPAC write a recommendation to CMS that has even guided webinars and PowerPoints that they're giving to the CMS, typically means to me that that is the future of a pending law. Usually when MedPAC has a recommendation, it usually ends up becoming part of a requirement. So today, when we first started off our call this morning, we started talking about that new discharge planning golden rules, where they're looking to see that making sure that the post-acute care providers, meaning, and the discharge planners, that the discharge planners are making the recommendations to utilize post-acute care providers based on evidence. And typically that evidence is going to be our home health compare results or a particular item that we could show data from. So one of the mindsets might be, hey, I'm a discharge planner and I'm discharging a patient today with wound care. Now, maybe you only have a 2-star rating, but maybe you've got a wound care score that's at 99% for healing. And that may be something that you want to highlight if the comparing agency that they typically are referring has a lower score than you. So I think that becoming top of awareness of what is your home health compare, what are the indicators that are on there, really owning your OASIS assessment documentation for your organization and where you are scoring well. Even if you are just a private duty provider, you should really know where your private duty companies also exceed in the post-acute world, because that's going to make you also look like an expert of saying, hey, I've got a referral, and as a private duty only provider, I want to make sure when I have a patient who develops a wound that I'm suggesting a provider based on their outcome. And I think that provides valuable resource back to the discharge planner of the hospital, where they look like, well, my private duty companies are doing their homework for me to make a recommendation sometimes for home health or other care services. Same thing about being really comfortable and looking at, yesterday actually I had a coaching call with John, who's on the call, and we talked about skilled nursing facilities and grabbing their skilled nursing, God bless you, grabbing their skilled nursing facility compare and really know where we can help them and help them fix their scores. So I'm curious if anybody is like, have you, Mel, or if anybody on the call wants to share, have they been looking at their ratings or their scores, and has anybody utilized any of the skilled nursing facility reports or their own reports to kind of, do sales calls?
So I'll let
share?
John or Melanie, Alice, if you want to share first, and then I'll share a little bit about what we're doing on our side.
Well, this was something that was just introduced to me the other day, as Cheryl mentioned, but I definitely see it as a valuable tool because we have to get away from the stigma of when we walk in the door, oh, they want something. We have to address it to where we want to help you. This is what we're doing.
Right.
We're trying to help the patient, but we're trying to help you too. And a lot of that comes with educating your customer. And there's just not a lot, at least in my area in Illinois, there's not a lot of companies going that route. They basically send salespeople in, for lack of a better word, and it's all about what I want. I'm kind of changing my approaches now as I get further educated in this process of, hey, I'm not, yes, I have a job to do and I'm here doing it, but I also want to help make sure there's a positive outcome for the facility as well.
Excellent.
And these reports show you, like Cheryl walked me through it. I have one in particular. They have a high turnover rate with caregivers, you know. So that's something that I'm addressing and saying I can potentially help you if you help me help you. It's got to be a team effort here. Otherwise, we're just going to fail. So that's kind of being new to that process. I definitely see its value. So I just figured I would just share what I kind of grasped from it.
Thank you for that. And you know, I have a saying that I say to my coaching clients all the time, which is sell the solution to the problem, not your home-based services. So not home health, hospice, private duty, whatever line of business that you're from. Don't go in and sell that. Sell what that solves, right? So we talk about that, and Cheryl's very fond of saying, identify the problem and then sell the solution. So I think that's where we're going to, and it's becoming a little sophisticated, a little more sophisticated than what it has been in the past. And so you will have the opportunity to sound different, and when you sound different, you get more attention, especially when it's all about them. And of course, in the end, it's about you, right? Getting more clients or patients, but for sure, it's about helping them achieve their goals, which is part of the reason we talk all the time about, getting aligned with their goals and becoming really great business partners. I also want to presence, if we have any private duty folks on the line right now, I have a couple private duty agencies who are really aligned with this thinking, and their EMR, their tracking in their EMR when, or their scheduling software system, when patients come out of the hospital, what's their diagnosis, so that while we don't have a Medicare.gov site for us to go to look at it for private duty, they are giving data back to their referral sources and saying, look, you gave me these 5 patients and all of them stayed out 30 days, or, God forbid one went back, and they talk about it. So even if you're on the line or watching on replay and you say, gosh, I'm a private duty, how can I use outcomes the way Cheryl's describing them? Please know there are many private duties who are making a very valid business case to use private duty on patients who are going home out of the TCU, SNF with rehab, hospital, so that they can affect those outcomes. And in some cases and instances, the hospitals are even paying for it, which is great. If you can't get to that level right this second, you sure can start to report data back to your hospitals. And most private duty agencies are not doing that, which means that you get to stand out again. So I'd recommend it. If you didn't do it before, that's okay. Start now. Every patient that you have, make sure that you understand who their PCP is, what diagnoses they have, and start tracking it, even if it's just on a spreadsheet. Melanie, and Alice, do you have anything you would like to add? Okay, Melanie?
I'm sorry, I'm still here. I'm just kind of having to listen in and out. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Do you have anything you would like to add?
I do not right now. I'm sorry. I'm like in a place I can't really talk a whole lot, but I'm listening.
Okay.
No worries. No worries.
And I think we have a new. Do I see Julie Taylor?
Yes, you do.
Hey, Julie. Maybe she's on mute too. Cheryl, do you want to talk? I know right now we're both working with hospice. Do you want to just share how this might relate to hospice too? Because of course they now have their compares out.
Yes, they do. Yep. Well, again, in hospice, you're going to have to look to see what is your report card, right? What is your home health compare results showing? And also look at the competitors that you're competing against, specifically for facility referrals or referrals from really anywhere, doctor's offices or skilled nursing homes. So you want to know your results and your competitors, but you also want to look to see what can we do to help the skilled nursing facilities that a lot of hospices end up working with patients, because there just happens to be a lot of end-of-life issues there. So with the skilled nursing facilities, we typically have seen over and over again where they may score even a 3 or 4 on a star rating, but typically they have issues where they're scoring low in their staffing piece, which is, ends up being like a 2. That could mean a lot of different factors. Spent a lot of time reading up on this, and I'm working actually trying to do with one of the nursing homes that I work in as the sales rep myself. I'm trying this new strategy, and it's interesting. If it works, I'm going to come back and be like, no, I have the one thing that works to bring you to skilled nursing facilities. If it doesn't, I'm never going to tell anybody. But real life world is I have to still go out and sell, right? So typically one day a week I'm out selling. Yesterday I was at one of my accounts, which is a skilled nursing facility. So of course, I took my hospice compare, I took my competitor's hospice compare, but then I also tried to get him, and I asked these 3 questions, and I actually did share these with John, and I took them from UMel, believe it or not. When we were working together on you were scripting your PowerPoint, you know that I love you, and that the biggest form of flattering is that somebody imitates you, right? Imitation is the highest form of a flatter. So one of the things that I love that you do well, and that you taught me over the years of us being friends, is to ask great questions, right? Especially if you're following those great questions, if they will lead to identify a problem that I know I already got the solution for. It's like, you're baiting that hook and getting them to go exactly where you want them to go with the conversation. So before I went, I made these 3 questions up, and it was, share with me, what initiatives you're currently working on for 2018. And immediately that led to the nursing home administrator and the regional director to say to me that they're working on improving their star rating related to staffing. So immediately I went into, well, I'd love to have the opportunity to kind of come back and propose to you some areas that I think we could help. And they were both sat back in their seats and were like, really? Like, nobody's made recommendations on how we can fix our star rating. What were your thoughts? And I said, well, honestly, I think that if we could do something to improve your morale at your location and start to use your staff to talk about how great this place is to work because we create a culture that they want to work in, that might ultimately improve your staffing. And I said, and I noticed from your Home Health Compare website that, your skilled nursing report website, all these compares, I'm sorry, but it says on there that they did not have a caregiver advocacy group. So I said, how about if we start a caregiver program? So I immediately, grabbed some of those dementia kind of tools that we had worked on in the past and thought, you know what, this is going to be phenomenal if I could get in here and do a caregiver support group for the family members of the patients that are there. All about cognitive impairment really is going to be the whole first couple classes. And even invite some of their staff members that are there, that just them feeling supported and feeling like, there's somebody listening to them and how stressed they are and how overwhelmed they are. I honestly have seen things like that change the culture in a building. Nice. And, of course, we can come up with some fun activities to go along with it. But I think that these little tiny things where we're just thinking outside the box and not necessarily always about, where are we at in the sales process? I happen to already be getting some referrals from them. I want to take those referrals to another level. Like, I'm getting maybe 1 or 2 a week, but I know that they've got 20 probably discharges a week. There's no reason why I shouldn't capture more volume. But I also know that I need to do it in a way that if I'm going to really break into this account, I want this account to be in the vault that we talk about. So I'm trying to combine both, kind of strategies. So wish me luck.
I think that's awesome. I know I work with a team in Minnesota, and one of the reps is amazing. She does a lot of community work in the ALs, and she does a lot of like caring for the caregiver and community presentations, which I know is near and dear to our heart here coming up. And so, you know, it really helps solidify. She's welcomed into that community and into those ALs, and they really see her as a staff member almost, yep. Which, you know, is awesome because she walks in like she owns the place, and she does her little community presentations. And we're seeing more and more of that. I don't know if you're seeing that, at least in the team that I work with in Minnesota. The ALs specifically, and over the past year, have been asking for more education for staff, education for the residents on very specific things that are that dovetail very nicely. In this case, it's a home health agency, you know, but to talk about vision issues and to talk about you know, ambulation and fall risk reduction and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like the typical changes in the elderly that they face every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're asking for, you know, they're just asking for once a quarter for us to come in, or for the reps to come in and just have a discussion, lead a forum, if you will, with the residents. And oftentimes those residents will self-identify. So your community presentations, I think, are on the rise, or at least that's what I'm seeing in the teams that I manage and coach. And I think that's great. Oftentimes, you know, I do recognize that it takes effort for, you know, not every sales rep has the time to do those community programs, meaning put them together. They certainly have the time to go deliver them, but a lot of them do struggle, at least, you know, and the ones that we work with are lucky because they got us and we can do it for them. But I do appreciate that it does take time. And I know that's something that you and I are trying to work on, along with Eric, to help facilitate that and give you guys some tools.
Yep, well said. So yeah, just using those probing questions, going into the accounts and really finding out where are they at, and then using anything that I've gotten into kind of bring into the conversation to kind of share a solution that we might be able to touch on. So I think that whether it's hospice, whether it's private duty, or whether it is just pure home health, there's great opportunity to use these reports if you're not using them. Does anybody, before we move on to another subject, because I do have something else that I'm like dying to kind of talk about, I just want to see if anybody has any questions. Feel free, guys, because we are using a Zoom meeting. If you are on your desktop and you join us, we will be able to see you. You will be able to also see us. In addition, you can also chat. So there is a function that if you are on your computer, that if you move your mouse and you go down to the bottom, it says chat. You can also, if you don't feel comfortable to, you know, kind of join the conversation, but you maybe want to send us a private text message or private chat question, please feel free to go ahead and do that. So that's why we use these great technologies. All right, so Bill, can I talk about something else?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Nobody has a question. I don't want to hog the whole thing. So if you want to talk about something, I'm offering you an opportunity.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that I keep talking about right now, because it is the end of the month, typically with January, February, March, this is when I start hounding all of my reps, and they're probably all mad at me this week because I have been saying it like a broken record, and that is, it's time to re-paper out. It's time to go through your accounts and see what you've accomplished this first quarter and start to see where the heck you are in your sales process. When you do that, you've got to do a deep dive. You've got to really look at your information, and you've got to look at it following the sales process. Where did you get in to do your qualifying visit? How many times have you been able to get back in and you've got them in that prospecting funnel? And have you made meaningful sales calls? That does not mean that you stop by to drop off one of our 52-week calendar flyers, right? That means that you're able to also talk to the person that we need to talk to actually get a referral generated. So before you turn around and throw everybody into a reveal and you're dumping out your calendar and rebuilding everybody, look through your notes. Look to see, you know, where am I at really with each account? And if you did not get the results that you wanted, you've got to identify, what am I going to do different at the end of this quarter or for tomorrow, for the rest of this month, to try to get a different result. If the same exact things that you're doing are not working for you, there's something that's broken. It's either you're not getting past the gatekeeper, or you're not doing a great job with your qualifying questions, or you're not building relationships and having a meaningful conversation. But you've got to do a deep dive. Me and Melanie are here. We have Jason and Eric on our team. If you guys need individual one-on-one coaching to try to help you get more successful, that's always an option as well. But we want to help you if you feel like you're stuck in an account and you're trying to figure out one more thing that I could do or try. It might be somebody else that you need to talk to at the account. It might be looking at your home health compare or the doctor's office or the facilities or the hospice's information that's in your area. You might need a power partner with one of their vendors. I don't know. You know, each and every account is going to bring a different strategy, but you've got to identify, and you've got to sit down and take the time to review your data, and you've got to make a strategic plan for how you're going to do something different. So Mel, I'm sure you can add a million words of wisdom to that.
So I think that this is one of the things that I don't see sales reps do traditionally. For the teams that we manage, we do a quarterly game plan and business review. And I think it's always, as you're so fond of saying, that it takes the emotion out of it, because we all have accounts that we love. And we all have been in a position in which we go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they only gave us 4. I go there every week, and what the heck, over the past, 3 months, we got 4 referrals. That's ridiculous. So I think it's always nice as a kind of a gut check of like, oh, am I in the right place? And do I need to switch it up? And if I'm not getting the referrals that I desire, but I've been there 12 times or whatever it is, now it's your opportunity to ask those questions, right? To sit down and say to your referral sources, help me understand, so that we can do that reveal sales call, step 4 in the sales process. And that to me is really powerful, because it puts the sales rep back in control of their time, and it doesn't let them feel like the referral source kind of pushes them around a little bit or just takes.
Love it. Love it. Anybody have any questions or comments about quarterly review?
So if you don't have a CRM, obviously if you have a CRM, that's easier, right? You can just dump it out of the CRM and put it in a pivot table. But if you don't, your EMR should still be able to help you. And finally, if you don't have access to that, you can at least use your own spreadsheet to track your own referrals, where they come from, when they came in, so that you have that knowledge. If you're a sales rep out there that just doesn't have all the electronic tools, it's okay. You can still do this kind of the old-fashioned way of putting it into a hand spreadsheet by yourself, right? And that works just well. It just takes a little more time.
No lie, Mel. When I first started, it was 1995. We did have an office computer, but we did not necessarily have any type of CRM. Like that was it just didn't even exist back then, right? So I remember every month, it was actually every week, but eventually then it would be an every month project that I take the weekly ones and snap them together. But I would sit there and literally just I had like a whole piece of paper that had every account name, like in the hospitals, the doctor's offices. Mm-hmm. And then I would have, every week I had week 1 through 52. And I would write down 1 submission, 1 referral, 2, 1, so that I could just constantly aggregate it at the end of the quarter. And I honestly think that not only did it allow me to keep an iron grip control where I was with my accounts, right, and be able to identify quickly if an account started to slip in referrals, but it also brought me to a real painful spot where I would see, wow, like I've called on this account 16 times. And I didn't get a referral. There's nothing that wakes up your senses more than that. But if we don't get in a great habit of checking these every quarter, we could technically be calling on these accounts for a long time without getting referrals. And again, like a lot of times we both know that reveal sales call, if you do it, you end up getting 25% of those accounts to give you a referral that day or by that Friday. Why wouldn't we choose to do that? You know,
Absolutely.
there's so much fear that they're not afraid. They're more afraid to do the reveal call than they are to walk away and add on a better opportunity.
Yes, agreed. So, you know, I was sharing with a coaching client yesterday because it was a hospice nurse liaison, and she and I, she puts her whole heart into our coaching calls, but at her core, she gets really stressed out that she's in the sales department now. And so she said to me, I love your techniques. I like it because it's, you know, feels very protocol driven, and I'm a nurse and I like that. She said, but I don't really feel good about being a salesperson, and I don't really like sales. And I said, well, tell me what that means to you. And she said, well, I don't like rejection. And I said, you know what's so interesting? Just yesterday morning, I was reading another sales article, and the gentleman, the author, was talking about so firstly, if you're getting rejected and you're feeling poorly about it, it's because you don't have enough in the pipeline. If you had all these folks in the pipeline and someone said no to you, you would say, great, now I get to go work on these 5 people. I have so many folks coming in the pipeline. Thank you for saying no, so that I can go find the folks that are going to say yes, and work with them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really great way to say it, because oftentimes, you know, people, especially as clinicians, who are used to having people welcome us into their home and say, come into our house. And we don't have that rejection often. Maybe a patient refuses once in a while, but most of the time they welcome us into their homes. So when they come on to, you know, the sales side of the house, which you and I both believe that sales is nothing more than just profound, deep service of our accounts and our patients and our referral sources. You know, I said to her, your mission has to be bigger than their no.
Yes.
Dig deep. Why are you?
It's gotta hurt.
Why are you?
It's gotta hurt worse for them not to know what we can do to service their patient than it does for them to be able to ask if we can serve a patient and tell them what we could do to help them. Like seriously, I could go back in my younger years as a salesperson in the field, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how many places I walked out of and I was that official brochure drop or offer, and I never actually spent the time to really make a difference in a human being's life. Now it's like, are you kidding me? I'm not leaving an account without them knowing, like, I know you've got somebody who right now is suffering. Yes. So let's look at your patient log. Let's see who's coming in today. Let's see who came in yesterday. You know, there's got to be somebody that needs something that I could do to make their life a little bit different. And they typically will look at me and be like, man, you don't just give up so easy, do you, Cheryl? And I say, no, because if I give up, that could potentially be one of your patients sitting at home who doesn't even know how to use that glucometer that you ordered yesterday. But do you really, how can you go to bed tonight knowing that? I can't. And then they're like, oh God, let me find somebody for you. I'm like, okay. Right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is, I think that's just one of the gifts that you bring, obviously, with maturity and experience. And if we can get that to the High Performance Sales Academy folks sooner, right? If you could give it to your 20-year-old self versus 45, I think that would be a gift. And not only would I have impacted more patients' lives, I would have made more money, right?
Yeah, and the other thing I want to address is something that you said, because I do love it. You said about, I'm sorry, my slipper came off. I have to put it back on. My feet are too cold in this blizzard. But one of the things that you said about rejection, right? So rejection is actually really, for me, more mojo. It's like it either makes me I almost feel stronger in my conviction to help someone when I'm rejected by one account, because it's like, you don't even know what we could do potentially to help your patient. But you've got to be smart enough that that rejection actually doesn't impact your ability to sell to another doctor's office or to another facility. Mm-hmm. You've got to take that rejection. You've got to almost, like, I've turned that into empathy for that account and for the patients that they serve, almost feeling like, wow, it's really sad that they don't identify their patient population who could benefit from post-acute care provided services. you know, so that I don't take it personal. Because if you take it personal, I have had so many sales reps that I got to shake a little and, you know, kiss them and hug them remotely over the phone and video to say it's okay to be rejected. You're going to find somebody else who cares about people, because there's so many people that are physicians or caseworkers or working at doctor's offices, and they do these positions because they truly also want patients to receive care. We just got to find them. And we've only got to find about 20 of them, right?
That's right. That's right. And they're out there. I mean, even the Nurse Ratched, right? The jaded case manager, been on the floor for 25 years, jaded. Underneath it, she still cares about patient care. She does. It, you know, it's maybe her exterior is a little hard, but inside she still does what's best for the patient.
Yep, I agree.
All right, how about any other questions that you guys? I recognize that we're 36 past the hour, and I want to honor the fact that you guys are taking time out of your day. Questions from the field? All right. Not yet. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to chat them, or you're welcome to email us later, wherever your heart desires. Cheryl, do you have, would you like to wrap it up?
So I just want to mention that I know we have an event coming up in Dallas. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd love to. So we are going to Dallas. I know some of the folks are already from Texas, Melanie and Alice. So let's talk a little bit about we're going to do another High Performance Sales Academy. It's going to be March 9th, 10th, and 11th out by DFW Airport at a Marriott Spring Hill Suites there. So if you have someone on your team that would like to come, please reach out to Cheryl or myself. But we'd also like to share that we're going to have a master's program on the 12th and 13th of April. And that is kind of next level selling. So you have the sales process down, you got foundational services in alignment, and now it's time to elevate your conversation to those advanced sales techniques that includes things like going to the SNF and talking about their compare scores and their star rating, and going to your doctor's offices and talking about how you can support them in MIPS, and protecting and generating revenue through billing, and how our services can support that. You want to continue, Cheryl?
Yeah, so I just want everybody to know if anybody has any issues or concerns that they'd like us to answer. We just got a chat. Sorry, Mel. So it says, hello, everyone. Awesome.
That's
and that, oh, you're throwing me off my game. I got so excited. It's Melanie. Okay, well, thanks, Mel. So anyway, I just wanted everybody to know that if they have purchased High Performance Sales Academy, obviously they can attend one live event. If you have not attended yours yet and you'd like to get to this one, we still do have some spots, and just let one of us know. You can also feel free to reach out to Jason. Also, super excited that we have an About Us page that is now updated on our website, which includes our new employee, Eric Crump. He is with us, and I am just about done shooting a couple promo videos that I'm working on to let everybody know about the new products and services that we are adding to home care sales. So over the next couple weeks, they will be coming out. So be on the lookout for some new updates, and hopefully next month when you join our monthly call, you will see more information about that.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. As always, we do these on a monthly basis. So if you ever can't make it, you're always welcome to email in questions. We will share them during this call. Cheryl makes a recording of them, and then we put them up. And I think we're going to actually put this recording up in our Facebook page, I think is how we're going to do it, so that you can access it there too. All right.
And I will email it to our group as well, so that everybody that needs it will have it. Thanks,
awesome.
Everybody. I hope
all right,
you guys
have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.